My daughter is nearly an adult and is applying for colleges. We have a college fund saved up for her that we've been adding to since she was an infant. It's a sizable chunk of money and many donations from family have gone into it and her own savings occasionally. We've always made it clear that the money is there for college only. She never had to put her savings in there. She has a separate savings account, but did so anyway. Her girlfriend lives in Australia and they're both huge Supernatural fans. They both wanted to go to a convention for years, at least 5 that I can remember. 2 of the main guys will be at a convention in Australia. She begged me to let her go. I said no, but the con is set for after her 18th. I can't stop her if she pays for it. I assumed she would use her savings. I checked the college account to add some in and noticed a chunk of money missing. I spoke to my daughter about it and she admitted using the money to pay for the convention. She bought herself plane tickets, her girlfriend's plane tickets, other end of the country, and both of their con tickets as well as booking a hotel. The con is 3 or 4 days, but she plans to stay for a couple of weeks and make a vacation out of it. All in all, she's taken about $10,000. I lost it, honestly. I demanded she cancel, which fell on deaf ears. I tried to cancel for her, but she won't be refunded everything, so I'm hesitant. She's insisting that it's her money and she can do what she likes with it. She claims she still has enough for college, and this is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. I believe this has shown her extreme immaturity and inability to manage her future and money. I'm so furious that she would go and do this. I told her she could say goodbye to the rest of her college fund and have locked the account. I'm now the only person with access. She said she'll pay it back, but it seems unlikely. My wife thinks I'm being harsh and that she's right. She put at least $5,000 into the account herself, so she really only took $5,000, which my mother-in-law has since said she'll pay back. I think this teaches her she can pay her way out of messes. I was certain of my decision, but everyone was acting like I was the idiot. She's a teenage girl and her entire life shouldn't revolve around college. I'm still uncertain, so here I am. Am I the idiot? I say not the idiot if you make her pay back $5,000. I don't think she should have had access to withdraw from the funds in the first place, but I guess it was set up in her name and could be withdrawn from at 18. The money was set aside for school, not just for whatever she wanted. I think the rest should stay for school, only she's lost the privilege of unrestricted access to the account. Also, make her pay back any tax penalties that may be incurred due to the funds not being used for college, if this is a proper 529 and not a general savings account. I can't help but note that you, the responsible adult, didn't set up the account with the withdrawal protections you could have. You should have been wise enough to know that a teen with free access to that big pile of cash shouldn't have access to it without any limits. That in no way excuses your daughter, but it does mean that you should have had more foresight into the folly teens can do. This is the way to go. Never trust kids with the money for college. Pay for it yourself. True story. My brother-in-law pretended he was going to college for almost 3 years and spent the money God knows where. It must have been about 10,000 euros. His mom works in Italy and sent the money from there. So instead of any repayment schedule where she puts the money back into the fund, you'll just screw over her future by withholding all of her college funds. You'll show her who's boss by making her take out student loans that burden and drain her for the next 30 years, even though it's completely unnecessary. And that's only if your draconian response doesn't push her to forego college entirely. Is that good fathering? You're teaching her there's no point in trying to make good on anything she might have done wrong. After all, there's a perfectly reasonable way out of this, and you're going nuclear for no good reason. You are the idiot, dude. You're being way too unreasonably harsh. But if you want to be one of those parents who end up posting "woe is me" on forums for parents whose children went no contact the moment they left, you're doing great. I, 30 male, live in a major city with my long-term girlfriend, 27. My girlfriend and I live together in a major city to share the costs. I only mention this to provide some information about how much rent costs. While we were both working, I paid 60% of the rent and she paid 40%, with the agreement that I would pay for all the dates because I make 30% more than she does. My girlfriend has felt depressed about her career choice, so I suggested that she quit her job and take some classes to gain certifications in a career she would like more. I agreed to pay rent, utilities, pay for her classes, and give her some spending money, $300 a month. I'm lucky in that I work at a good job, so I can eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner for free at work. I've also worked on additional projects so that I can work more hours to support both of us on my salary alone. For the last 6 months, I've clocked in 60+ hours a week. When we were both working, we split chores 50-50. However, I find myself burning out during the week and unable to clean. And on the weekend, she wants to spend Saturday on dates with us, cleaning on Sunday together. We got into a bit of a row because I said that I was dying and I needed a day, Sunday, where I could just be alone or do something with my friends. She said she appreciates my help with her career change, but that since we both live in the apartment, we should both clean. I don't think it's fair since she's home much more than I am, and I make almost zero mess because I spend 60+ hours a week at work. She said just living in the house creates a mess, and I should help clean it. Am I the idiot for asking my girlfriend to clean 100% of our apartment? How much time is she spending on schoolwork? I'm going to guess it's dramatically less than 60 hours a week. It's not about the financial contribution, but the time difference in what you're doing. Not doing anything around the house isn't fair, as in you should pick up after yourself rather than leaving a mess for her to clean up, but definitely the bulk should fall to her. And having a day to yourself is also totally reasonable. You are not the idiot. Everyone's the idiot here. Do you buy every meal at work? I would imagine you're at least making dirty dishes. Plus, the bathroom needs to be cleaned, rooms need to be dusted and vacuumed. I agree she should do the vast majority of the cleaning, but you're absolutely making more of a mess than using towels. It's an apartment with 2 grown adults, no pets, no kids. How much is there to clean? A vacuum, quick tidy, bathroom and kitchen wipe down should take at most an hour a week. I've been married for over 20 years. I've done stretches of 100% of the chores. I've done stretches of 50%, etc. You support your partner in what they need at the moment. This shouldn't be triggering or about fairness. It's about how you can best support your partner. And sometimes that involves picking up the chores slack when asked. I bet you money that if OP was a female working 60 hours to support their boyfriend and asking him to clean as they pay for everything, the comments would be filled to the brim with asking to leave the drop kick. The amount of gender bias is insane. Context: we're from the UK. I'm struggling to see why we're idiots as deemed by my parents and sister. My husband, 42, and I, 40 female, have 2 daughters, Jane, 22, and Lisa, kindergartner. This concerns Jane, who's been struggling with the cold. Jane started complaining about the house's temperature now that it's no longer summertime. We leave the central heating off all the time apart from in the early morning, 5 to 7 a.m, so Lisa doesn't get too cold when she's awake. My husband and I don't have an issue with the temperature of the house. It's approximately 16 degrees C or 60 Fahrenheit at night. Across all of the bedrooms, we checked in case her room was draftier. We don't feel it and don't see where Jane is coming from. Jane complains and says she wears multiple layers to bed and around the house while we're all asleep. So she asked if she could have access to the thermostat to switch the heating on at a higher temperature than 18 degrees C or 64 Fahrenheit, what we set it as. She wants to raise it to 21 degrees C or 69 degrees Fahrenheit, but we said no. She keeps complaining about wearing 4 layers to bed so she doesn't feel cold in the morning. Lisa said it wasn't cold when we asked her. My husband and I also don't feel the cold, so we said no to her asking and thought that would end it. It did not. We had dinner at my parents' house in which Jane commented about how warm and toasty her grandparents' house is. My parents were shocked that we didn't allow her access to the thermostat, and they tried to sway us into giving her access because it wasn't right for her to sleep in multiple layers. My sister also agreed with them and said my daughter has valid points since the temperature starts dropping at night. Are we wrong here? I don't see the point in changing the temperature or time the central heating is on when 3 out of the 4 of us are happy with the current temperature. You are the idiot. Get the girl a personal space heater for her room or a heated blanket or heating pad. She's not making it up that she's cold. Who are you to tell someone that they're not cold or not hot? I understand not giving her control of the thermostat, but not making accommodations for her so she isn't cold is where you're the idiot. Also, 16 degrees Celsius is freaking cold. Agreed, 16 degrees C or 60 Fahrenheit, or even 18 degrees C or 64 degrees Fahrenheit is too cold for most folks. Just because you're fine doesn't mean it's reasonable to expect her to be miserably freezing. I can see you not being interested in keeping the heat on consistently either, so that's also miserable for her. Why do you think she should suffer so you can save a few dollars on the power bill? Also, heating blankets, space heaters, etc. actually use more electricity than just keeping your house at a comfortable and consistent temperature. Expecting her to have 4+ layers to be moderately warm is unreasonable. Dude, why do you favor your youngest over your eldest? A kindergartner is not trustworthy when it comes to temperature. When my brother was that age, he had to be reminded to wear more than a shirt when it was snowing outside. Jane may also have low thyroid hormone, which can cause cold intolerance. You suck, and I would hate to be your daughter. How many other ways in life have you neglected her? My sister is 18 and I'm 26. She's in college and moved out of our parents' house in June. Since then, my sister has gotten a bunch of tattoos. I'm cool with that, but she knows our parents are not, and she decided she was going to flaunt them all at my wedding for the first time, knowing our parents would react badly to them. She didn't stop there, though. She went up to a few anti-tattoo family members and was gloating about getting them too. It ended up in a fight between her, our parents, and a few extended family members. My sister was smirking the whole time. She was so glad she could get under our parents' skin. She never told me a damn thing about it either. The fighting was so distracting, and she approached me at one point during the reception and asked me why I wasn't standing up for her and talking to her. I was mad. I admit, I was angry. She could have shown them the day before the wedding and let everybody get it out, but she wanted to make sure more people saw and made a bigger scene over it. I kicked several family members out of the wedding because they couldn't behave, and I pretty much ignored my sister. She realized this a few days ago and started texting me, asking why I wasn't texting her and why I was being so weird. I ignored her text because I wasn't ready to talk, but she decided to show up Sunday at my house and ask me why. She told me I was treating her like she did something wrong. I told her she did. She knew our family would react badly, and she used my wedding day to have that fight. I told her she had so much time to tell them and let things happen, but she waited so she could take so much attention away from my husband and me on our wedding day. I said the fighting was distracting for many people, the tension was palpable, and she knew what she was doing. I told her she made me regret inviting any of them, and that included her. She told me I should be mad at our family, not her, that they were always the ones who did the wrong thing. She brought up how once she was born, I was brushed aside and how it wasn't her fault, but it showed why I should only be mad at our family. I told her she didn't get to draw so much attention to herself intentionally and expect me to be okay with it when it was supposed to be my wedding. You know, one of the happiest days for a couple. She started yelling, telling me I was punishing and blaming her unfairly, and she thought I understood our parents sucked, etc. She sent me several texts yesterday saying I was unfair to her. Am I the idiot? Don't wear white dresses to a wedding. Don't propose at a wedding. Don't make a pregnancy announcement at a wedding. Don't come out at a wedding. Don't bring your dog to a wedding. Don't do anything to take away attention from the bride and groom, or bride and bride. It's their day, not yours. Not the idiot. Your sister was the only person you needed to kick out of the wedding. She started all the unnecessary drama. But what if my dog is invited and I'm the plus one? Imagine getting tattoos with the purpose of making your family angry. She knew exactly what she was doing and how it would play out. It doesn't excuse the behavior of the family members, but she is 100% the idiot. She chose to antagonize family on purpose at your wedding. Actions have consequences. It's not my fault they gave me more attention when I was born. Be mad at them only, even though I pulled a major attention-seeking stunt at your wedding. My sister and I are pretty close and we're friends with Kat. Kat recently passed away and her funeral is being held this weekend. My sister Sammy has a fear of the dead. She strongly believes in ghosts and even has trouble with meat due to her beliefs. I called her and told her I could pick her up on Saturday since I knew she was having car trouble. She informed me she wouldn't be going. I asked why and she told me she couldn't be around a ghost. I asked if she was joking and told her she could just stand in the back, but everyone was expecting her to go. We're close friends with the family. I told her she needed to go or she would blow up all her relationships, including with me. She said that wouldn't happen, and I told her that her family would never forgive her, and I don't think I would either since we've known her for years. She hung up and I got a call from my mom for making her cry and being a jerk for telling her what would happen if she didn't go. I think she's not an idiot, but she needs therapy or something. That's an irrational fear there. You, I'm not sure. I think the fact that you said she will blow up all her relationships, including me, is the one that makes me want to go with you are the idiot. I don't know the family involved and maybe they won't forgive her, but you don't have to be like that. She's your sister. Why would you pressure someone to go to a funeral like that? Why do you feel so strongly about it? I haven't attended a funeral since I was a child, which hasn't blown up any relationships. Your sister truly cared for your friend, but she has a phobia. Instead of being an idiot, encourage her in a supportive manner to get help for this. I have arachnophobia. You're not going to blackmail me into going to Australia no matter how much I care about you. Stop being an idiot. You already made her cry. Now apologize like an adult. Christ, what is it with all these dreadful people moaning, complaining and whining because a friend's valid issues are inconveniencing them? Anyone who tries to force people into confronting their fears for the sake of their own agenda is a bit of an idiot, to be fair. She doesn't need friends or sisters like you who impose conditions on phobias, and it's not your place to dictate how she grieves, mourns or pays her respects to anyone.